Welcome back, guys, to another video. So today we have OP08 content for you. Trying to see how Marco works against the unknown meta, honestly, because now that RP Law has been banned and Lucci's stage got banned as well, I wonder what deck's gonna be really good in the 08 meta. So here we have Marco versus BY. BY starting off with Garp. Just gonna grab some combo pieces in the early stages, but I know that Marco is pretty experimental right now. Some people are trying him more tempo, some doing more control, and I also see some players starting to use the Warlords engine to get him a little more aggro. So looks like Chase is going with more of the tempo build here. I see that he's running Ezo, the event, and also the ace that cheats out a body from the top of your deck. So first couple turns, they're just searching for their pieces for the next couple of turns. Looks like Marco is grabbing the playable Marco and putting the rest of the cards on the top of his deck there. So probably a couple of good cards coming his way. But the BY Luffy, just gonna swing, conserving resources, swinging 5 and 5. One connects while the other one gets countered out. So Marco starts off by swinging the Ezo into the Garp. It's a pretty easy take there. And then using Marco ability. I think Marco's such a good card, or his ability is so good because essentially being able to draw 2 every turn means that he's just innately super consistent, just depending on how you want to build him. So looks like he's going to place a card at the bottom of his deck, probably something he does not need, and swinging 9 into lead. So we do see a Luffy trigger potentially coming out. I don't see any reason for it to come out, but looks like here on the 5 Dawn turn, BY Luffy probably just going to establish some bodies and using the Flampe to rip a life and draw 1. Tapping 4, probably has a Kuzan in his hand. I know that Billy runs the Kuzan variant, so that will be a really strong turn for him here. So Kuzan coming out, drawing 1 card and swinging 5. I think this is to Ezo. No reason for Marco to defend that. And Ezo does hit the trash there. So back to Marco's turn, using 6 Dawn, attaching 1 for leader ability, reducing the Kuzan by 2000. I do see that Chase's hand is filled with 2Ks, but no Sanjis, no Rayleighs. Makes it really hard for him to really combo off later. But at least he's able to drop down the Marco that he searched earlier and KO the Kuzan there. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually do see a Rayleigh in Chase's hand here, but yeah, I think Marco's bread and butter is definitely just playing Sanji into another 9-drop. And then going into BY's turn, just doing more searching on his 7 Dawn turn. Able to find a baby Sabo. So another 4 mana getting tapped out. Another Kuzan, and it is. I mean, at this point, looks like Billy's hand is just very, very stacked up and swinging 7 into lead. Chase takes that. I wonder if Chase runs Pudding in his build, because I think if he does, that would definitely blow BY out of the water in this game. Just because Marco, any blue deck is able to play super slow into BY and then just rip a pudding late game and push for lethal. But doesn't look like he has it. I think otherwise he would have ripped it already. But going into his 8-Don turn, he just drops a Bear Rayleigh, reducing the Flampe down to 0 and KOing that Kuzan there. So he's hopefully able to stick some bodies on board. I know the Marco is really hard for BY to deal with, but Billy's build does use the Ice Age, able to reduce the Rayleigh down to 3, and with that Space Luffy he got earlier from life, should be able to just KO the Rayleigh here. And he does, drawing 1 card as well. And then with only 3 Dawn left, probably just going to pressure life here. Swinging in 8 at leader, eats 2 2Ks. And now with 10 Dawn, this is where Marco really wants to drop his Sanji into a Whitebeard or Rayleigh play, but honestly it just doesn't seem like Chase has that. So trying to find some combo pieces by using leader ability, drawing 1, and then actually putting 1 back on the top. I'm not sure if that's the correct play, especially if you don't have the big bodies in your hand, just because it's essentially delaying you from getting the big bodies. But he did play the ace down to get that card out, so that's totally fine there. The triple develop turn is really strong, just going wide and trying to pressure BY the following turn. So here, BY finally at his 10 Dawn turn as well, able to rip his own life with another Flampe. Means that he has a crazy amount of resources in his hand at this point. I don't know how many cards exactly, but definitely up there since he wasn't really pressured early on. So dropping a Luffy, able to rip another life, and now this is where Luffy really can start comboing off. So tapping or attaching 2 Dawn to his leader, probably just gonna bring back that Luffy in his trash, and I can't imagine he doesn't have another adult in his hand, so it's definitely going to be the play here. So bringing back a Space Luffy and a Sabo. I'm surprised he didn't just discard the Sabo and leave the ace in his hand, but he does pump his leader up to 7 here, bringing out the Sabo, being able to draw 2 and trash 2. This is definitely where you could have trashed the ace to keep more important cards in your hand. But he's able to get that out, swinging 9 into lead, and then Marco ability being able to block that and ditch a Whitebeard Pirate. So right here, with Billy pumped up to 7, I think this is where Chase really needs to start pushing damage. Being able to reduce the Sabo down by 2,000 means that if he's trying to block, he won't be able to block for free, but with the leader pumped up to 7, you're going to be swinging 7s anyways. So I suppose the Sabo attack doesn't matter too much. Yeah, this is a rough decision just because if Chase does try to push in heavy, that means that he's going to leave his board really exposed for the crackback on Billy's side. And that also means that he has to tap down his blockers, meaning that Billy can also just push in for lethal next turn as well. And with Billy having such a large hand, I'm not sure how effective cracking in will be. So here, Rayleigh reducing the 2 down until the following turn, actually. So I'm surprised that Chase didn't actually swing at least 7 here to get a counter out of hand, or at least to get that Space Luffy out of life, but maybe he wants to leave 1 Dawn up for the Rad Beam in case Billy has a way to kill him next turn. So he does drop the Ice Age Luffy combo again to pop the second Rayleigh. Really unlucky on Chase's side. I think Billy only runs, or just BY in general, only runs 2 Ice Ages. So seeing both of them into his only big bodies is unfortunate there. So here, BY Luffy using his leader ability once again, ditching an adult Luffy to bring back Sabo and Space Luffy. And then my guess is that he does have the babies in his hand to evolve. So this turn's kind of crazy because Billy actually is already pumped up to 9, and he has an additional life to spare here. So this is really where BY starts getting really scary. But he doesn't even want to keep the life here. He's just going to pump up to 11. And yeah, I don't see how Chase can come back from this one here. Yeah, in games like this, I think Marco really needs his pudding in order to even out the playing field against like BY Luffy's, Nels. But yeah, Billy taking it slow, doesn't even swing with the Luffy here. Oh, right, he couldn't swing with the Luffy just because the Rayleigh reduced him by 3,000. I believe he's only at 4,000 even with the pump. Or no, he should be at 5,000 with the pump. So yeah, he definitely should have been able to swing here. Probably just didn't want to turn his body sideways to push for lethal next turn. Oh man, so attaching 5 Dawn to Marco leader, or at least debating it, kind of tells us that Chase doesn't have too much in his hand. It could just be spelling raps at this point. So tapping 5 here, getting the ace into Marco combo again. Just not sure how effective this is against a 9k leader. Or 11k leader actually at this point. So at this point, Chase has 3 6k bodies and 2 blockers. But these 2 blockers, not sure if they can find them too much value anymore, just because it does look like Chase's hand is really slim. And I'm not sure if he's able to outvalue the cards in BY Luffy's hand at this point. Yeah, honestly, here he should be able to just start pressuring Life pretty hard, forcing Chase to give out his blockers or the rest of the cards in his hand. Yep, and I think that's what he does here. So tapping 2 for the kids, and then evolving into Ace and Sabo here. And with 4 Dawn extra to work with as well, he should be able to start really packing in heavy. So starting with the 8 at leader, eating 2 2Ks, and then with 4 Dawn left, probably going to be a 9 with the Ace, forcing one of the blockers out. But even a 8 with Ace, I'm surprised he went with 8 here. His leader's already pumped up to 9, can already swing 11. But just swinging in for 14 instead. I guess he didn't want to attack with his Sabos there. But yeah, mathematically, I think he could have just pushed for lethal here. But I don't think it changes the outcome of the game anyways. So Chase does look pretty cooked here with the 3 Sabos he has to face down. Just doesn't have enough large bodies to deal with this board here. Yeah, I think his best bet would be to just try to clear all of Billy's board and then hope that his blockers are enough to defend Life. So here, I believe the Marco reduced the Luffy down by 2,000, and now the Ace reducing both of them by another 2,000. He's just trying to rip apart this board as hard as he can. He either has to give up 2 cards to defend the 1, and it looks like he is able to attack away at Billy's board here. And with only 2 blockers up, honestly, I think he's just going to bring back the 2 Space Luffys. And if he has it, he has it. He has the Geckos to pop the 2 blockers. And that should be the end of the match here. So, looks like Marco not being able to keep up with BY Luffy's pressure here. Unfortunate he didn't see too much top end, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.